right. Welcome to another Bucs Report Show. Ooh, it's getting exciting, guys. It's draft time. It is draft time. I could not be much more excited with my Cup of Ray mug. I am excited. We got lots of Bucs news today, all kinds of goodies, all kinds of little shenanigans and stuff we're up with the Bucs today. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. I call you the Parrot Army. The Parrot Army, because a group of parrots is fondly known as pandemonium. It's a pandemonium. That's what you call a group of parrots. Flock of parrots? I don't know. But that's what I want you guys to bring in the chat section. I want to hear from you guys. I want your opinions. I want your thoughts. I want all of that. And at some point during the evening here, I'm going to open up the lines when it's your turn, and I want to hear from you. I really do want to hear from you guys. Lots of goodies to chew on. So we've got lots to talk about, Bucs fans. All kinds of things. We got the fifth-year option for Vita. The Bucs picked up the fifth-year option. Not like that's a big surprise. Ooh, we didn't see that coming. But what does that ultimately mean? Well, there's a reflection on that this and how that I want you to remember this when it comes to you think about this number 32 draft pick and whether or not you trade down, because that fifth-year option is what the Bucs hold the cards as the last pick with that fifth-year option. So imagine if right now the Bucs didn't have the opportunity to exercise that fifth-year option on Vita, and Vita was becoming a free agent. Now they get him for an extra year because he was a first-round draft pick. That's the value of the number 32 pick overall, guys. That's why this pick is interesting, because people are going to want to jump up there to get that fifth-year option, and let's see what happens. Let's see how that works. One of the things about the draft that I want to talk about is how there's less of a... People are not all thinking in the same way. There's less groupthink than you will normally see in a draft. You're not seeing everybody react and respond to all of the players. You're not seeing draft boards kind of mimicking each other. You're not seeing a consensus about anything when it comes to this draft. Okay, Trevor Lawrence is going first overall. After that, it starts getting murkier. Yeah, okay, the number 2 pick looks pretty secure, but it's the Jets, so you never know. It's interesting to see what's going to happen and how it's all going to play out, because there's not groupthink. Excuse me. Should I trade? Should I stay put? Should I trade up? Are these players good? Are these players not so good? Is this guy special? Is he generational? Is he not all that good after all? All of this, every team is thinking so differently because they're looking at less game film. They really haven't had the chance to meet face-to-face. They didn't have a combine. There's a lot more murkiness. And so there's not a groupthink mentality. There's not the whole group as a whole in the NFL thinking, okay, this is the best way to handle this draft. You got different philosophies. You got 32 different philosophies from 32 different teams. You have this draft with all the weirdness plus COVID, everything colliding, although they're interrelated, but the point of the matter is all of this has made this draft something that everybody who says, okay, there's going to be a lot of trades. I don't know. People can get cold feet at the last minute when it comes time to pull the trigger. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know if they're going to be a lot of trades more than ever, like people are talking about, or if everybody's going to stand put out of fear of making a mistake because they don't know what they're doing. Paralysis by analysis. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a weird situation for the Bucs and every other NFL team, to be quite honest with you. It's kind of a mess. It's kind of a mess. As Mike DeRoche put it, the draft waters are murky after Lawrence. 31-team crapshoot. That's not that far off, Mike. That is not that far off, my friend. it's a weird, it's a very strange year where everybody's thinking different answers. Everybody's thinking something different. Everybody's going in a different direction, and it's hard to know what to expect. The one thing Tom Brady's going to be Tom Brady. He's going to show up motivated. He's going to give everything he's got. He's going to leave it all on the field. Rob Gronkowski is still going to be Rob Gronkowski. He's going to be the crazy guy. He's going to be goofy Rob Gronkowski, catching footballs out of helicopters. For those who hadn't heard, he set the record for longest pass reception. They dropped a football out of a helicopter from 620 feet high. They dropped a football, and Gronk was waiting on the field at Arizona State and caught the pass. It's now in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest pass reception ever. So I think it's an interesting. Those guys are going to be who they're going to be, but in general, in this draft, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what they're thinking about the character of these players because they've had less time to deal with the character of these players, to interact with the character of these players. These guys have been away from school for a while. It's just a different kind of a situation, and they're literally drafting somewhat blind. So I don't know. It's a little bit weird. AB settled his lawsuit, or the lawsuit that he was involved in with his former trainer. And if you saw the official statement that AB's people made, it was basically, well, they've been friends for years, and we wish her nothing but the best. And then maybe there can be an ongoing relationship, and they've settled it. Yeah, they got aggressive and sued aggressively, but now we're at this point. And everything's all happy. That's the way they made it sound, which is what they should make it sound like. That's smart move. But the thing is this, guys. Ask yourself, how does AB settling his lawsuit, how does that impact the Bucs? How does it impact what the Bucs do as far as negotiating? Does it impact the Bucs? Does it impact the draft? All of this is all tied together, guys. All of this is tied together. Now, I know Arians came out and said, doesn't affect us at all. Doesn't affect us at all. Or Light, one of the two, said it doesn't affect them even a little bit. I'm not so sure about that. Okay, I do think it's going to impact. Let's put it this way. If that lawsuit was still out there, of course, it has some impact. But they were going to have clauses in his contract that were behavior contingent. All right, he was going to have to behave or lose his money. That was already settled. So, it would have been built into the contract. Okay, if you don't settle this lawsuit and it all blows up in your face, well, okay, you're not going to get paid by us if you're getting suspended. That would all be built into the contract, everything like that. So it sort of impacts them and it sort of doesn't. Here's how it maybe impacts the draft. They still have not signed AB. They keep getting closer and closer to draft day in a draft where there are a lot of wide receivers, guys. There are a lot of wide receivers. So open your eyes. Open your eyes and understand this may be the plan. I don't know. I want to see AB come back, but this may be the plan. They may have this in their way of thinking. Let's go get somebody new. Let's get a young guy. I don't know. Maybe they're also thinking maybe we can get Larry Fitzgerald. I don't know what they're thinking. That's the fun part of this draft. Guys, I can stand here and act like I'm an expert sitting here, and I promise you're going to hear a lot of people who do sound like experts. They are going to be pontificating and having their opinions and stating their facts on the 4-letter network and everything, and they're gonna be acting like they're all knowledgeable and they know what's going on. No, they don't. No, they don't. This is a mess. This draft is a mess. It is. I think you're almost throwing darts at a dartboard because already in drafts, it's so imprecise, and so many first-round picks do not ever end up successful. I'm not sure how this is going to impact anything. Because, to be honest with you, we didn't know what we were doing before. I think we have less confidence now, but I don't think we have less knowledge. I think we had a false sense of knowledge or security before. I think we thought we knew what we were doing before. But based on first-round picks, probably didn't. We probably didn't know what we were doing. So I don't know. I think that's interesting. I think it's an interesting twist, way to look at it. Goodness, coughing a lot tonight, guys. Sorry. We're going to have, I believe, Joshua Cole Allen may be stopping by. I'll tell you, I'm going to go to commercial here in a second if I can't get this together. We got Joshua Cole Allen coming by. We've got, hopefully, more Bucs report folks stopping in here. Because this is draft week, guys. There is a huge party coming this week. There is a huge draft party that we have. Let me show you something that I am so excited about, guys. For those who do not know, I am hopping on an airplane in a couple of days and flying down to Tampa, St. Pete. We're going to be at Ferg's, and we're going to have one heck of a draft party. Great food, great drink, giveaways. It's going to be a blast. We've got a Devin White bobblehead from Foco. We've got a shirt from Smack Apparel. We've got all kinds of goodies. So I'm looking forward to you guys being there. This is going to be a lot of fun. It really is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be there live every pick. You guys, if you can't make it to Ferg's, or if you're not local to Tampa, tune in right here. We're going to have a live show through the whole draft, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All kinds of excitement, all kinds of goodies, all kinds of exhausting fun. That's the best way I know how to describe it. Matt Colson saying, post-COVID, the respiratory part is hard to kick. I do not have COVID, guys. I have spring allergies. Sorry about that. Dre Long says, what do you think we need on the team position-wise? I say we loaded. Dre, we are. We absolutely are loaded. We don't need anything. There are nice-to-haves, but, I mean, at this point, you're drafting for special teams almost. I mean, that's really, how are they going to make the team if they're not making special teams? I mean, that's kind of where we're at. I want to do this. I want to spin this out to you guys. I want to get your opinions. And the way we do that is we open it up to something called It's Your Turn. All right. So I just put a link in chat, and I will bring up the phone banner here. Now, what I want to do is, if you're coming on the show using that link, I want you to use video. Everybody listen to what I just said. If you're coming on, I want you to use video if you're doing that, or use the phone line. All right? Use the phone line if you're just going to come on audio. 678-825-5263, 678 Talk to Me. And let's talk about this, because it's time, man. If this doesn't get you stirred up, Bucs fans, you cannot be stirred. You got a Super Bowl champion team that's number 32 in the draft. They've re-signed all their starters from week 1, and you guys are silent. Come on, man. I want to hear from you. And where's Cup of Ray? I want Cup of Ray. I want Ray Kennedy to pop in here at some point. Well, we will get that figured out. Mike DeRoche says, no video, bad hair day. Well, I just put the phone number up there for you, Mike. I do want to hear from you guys. It's not like you guys don't have opinions about the draft. I know you do. I want to hear your opinion, and it's your turn. So, let me know. 678, talk to me. 678-825-5263. And anyway, guys, onward to other exciting things, and there are many. Guys, I'm wondering about what quarterback do you guys think is under the most pressure this year? What NFL quarterback is under pressure the most this year? We have Harry the Greek calling in. Hey, Harry, how are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Greg, how are you on this very fine Monday evening with a beautiful full moon?
I heard it's a pink harvest moon or something like that.
Yeah, they actually said that this is probably not the biggest moon that we're going to have all year. However, they did say that it's going to be one of the largest moons that we're going to have. It was actually pretty cool. I'm sitting out front, and it's just a beautiful day, bud. It's just a beautiful day. Three more days to the draft party, bud. What are you thinking? Oh, my
gosh, I can't wait. I'm excited. What am I thinking? I'm thinking about the food. I'm thinking about the food, to be honest with you. I'm looking forward to the food.
Rick, Rick, you're on a strict diet, so we're going to have to monitor that food intake.
I'll mostly behave. I've got one dinner planned that I'm not going to behave. I've got dinner before we go out there, actually, before I head out there on Friday. I've got a dinner that I'm planning on making sure I don't behave. So I'm going to go to Pierogi's Grill.
And I've seen that you were asking for Ray to go ahead and try to come on, but as I'm sitting out front, I noticed that his car's not in the driveway, so I will definitely make sure I relay that message when he does get home. I wish I could.
You're good. It's good talking to you. I mean, that's great. I just happen to have the cup of Ray in front of me. So
I see that. That's like an awesome cup. Tell everybody where you get that cup from.
Well, as a matter of fact, I will. You get the cups from, let me see if I have the link loaded in here. I do not. But if you go to the Bucs Report Facebook page, there's a little thing that shows you where you can shop online. You can shop for our gear, or you can go to bucksreportgear.shop. Go to either one, bucksreportgear.shop, or just go to the Bucs Report Facebook page, and you can get all kinds of goodies. I got right here for this show. This is for you guys, the Parrot Army, those of you who are listening, the Parrot Army on the Bucs Report Show. I've got that mug ready to go. We got all kinds of goodies. We've got over-under gear, which sounds like underwear, but it's not. We've got we have gear from the over-under with Harry the Greek, and all kinds of things. It's going to be fun, man. We are going deep into the draft this year. It's going to be a blast. Harry, I don't know if you heard the thing I was just talking about. First of all, I don't think that AB settling his suit, I don't think it has a whole lot of effect on the Bucs, but it has some effect in the sense that they at least, if they sign AB, they're less likely to draft a wide receiver. But without AB signed, in a deep class of wide receivers, they got to be thinking, maybe. Do you agree, disagree?
Rick, I just don't know what to think anymore. And I have to be honest with you. The Buccaneers have shown me nothing to say that they're not going to sign him because they've signed everybody, Rick.
Oh, no, I hope they sign him.
I do as well. I mean, I always like to see them get younger at the position because let's face it, man. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers probably have the deepest receiving core in all of football. Their tight ends are right up there. I mean, when you have a healthy O.J. Howard, you're talking about a premier tight end in the National Football League. I'm not trying to get off on a tangent when I'm talking about O.J. Howard because we touched on this on a couple of the other shows.
Sure.
He has shown me no reason he can make it through a full season. Okay, but as far as wide receivers, I think they're going to re-sign him. I don't think they're going to sign him, Antonio Brown, until after the draft. They just don't have the money to spend it right now, and they have to try to figure out some more magic ways to try to restructure a couple of more deals. But then again, this is not something that I know personally. This is something that I'm seeing a trend that they keep and continue to do every single week. that they're re-signing these,
Yeah.
they're football players.
Yeah.
So
I think
I
they're
do
going
think
to.
they're going to re-sign them.
I think they're going to as well, but I think that there are signals to the NFL now that makes him more attractive to other NFL teams that this suit's been settled. And as far as the leverage the Bucs have, here's the deal: the Bucs don't have a ton of leverage, but they also don't have a ton of need. So, it's like these guys are playing chicken with themselves. AB's going to hold out as long as he can and hope he doesn't screw himself, and the Bucs are going to do the same. And we'll see where it all comes down, where it all settles. But I don't know.
See, that's another thing. I don't think he's really holding out, Rick. I think Tampa has told him, look, go ahead and explore your opportunities.
No, I think they said, here's how much we're willing to pay you. And he said, no, I want more than that. And they said, okay, well, let me know how it works out for you. I tell you.
It reminds me of the old song from 1975 from Paul McCartney. Someone's knocking at the door. Someone's ringing the bell. Well, there's nobody knocking on his door. There's nobody ringing his bell right now.
Yep.
And
that was, by the way, Let Me In by Paul McCartney and Wings.
Yeah, that's right, Paul McCartney and Wings. And I think it was like 74 and 75, right around that area.
Yeah. That was right before I went to high school, so yeah.
Yep. Anyway, however, if they want a chance to sign him, they better not do it just in the beginning part of the preseason. And the reason for that is teams are going to start desperate. Certain players may get injuries, and all of a sudden the money starts to flow.
That's why I said they're playing chicken. The Bucs are playing chicken without question. Yeah, and he's playing chicken in the sense that, okay, if he wants to come back to the Bucs, they're going to be staring at a draft deep at wide receiver. So,
not just that, they're deep at wide receiver. Period. You got Chris Godwin,
and so is the draft. It's hilarious. I mean, it's an interesting. Yep. It's an interesting situation, kind of an interesting, I'll call it conundrum. And I know like Matt Colson's talking about Garoppolo is going to be traded. The Niners are looking to get the next guy. Maybe. See, here's the thing about trades.
Garoppolo's going no place. Let me interject there.
Here's the thing. You have to have a suitor. You have to have somebody willing to give up something for that person. And everybody says, oh, just trade him. Well, there's got to be somebody on the other end of that. And I don't know how attractive Garoppolo is. I mean, where is he going to go that he can sell tickets? Rick. No. New England maybe is the only place he could go where people are going to be like, oh, good, he's back. I don't think anybody else, I don't know of any other team in the league that's going, man, if we just had Jimmy Garoppolo. He has less probably popularity as an NFL quarterback than Andy Dalton did. Okay? And if New England was interested in Jimmy Garoppolo, trust me, with the amount of money that they've spent this year, they would have pulled the trigger already and made that happen. Garoppolo goes no place. The 49ers are drafting their quarterback, in my opinion, not something that I know, but my own opinion. They're drafting a quarterback, and they're going to sit behind Garoppolo. Because if they got rid of Garoppolo, do you know who the backup's going to be? Just say it 3 times. We'll all feel better. Josh Rosen. Is he? Is he? No, you don't know that yet. That's the thing, is you don't know that yet. We don't know.
Kind of a joke. It's just like an inside thing for the people out there that don't really understand the whole joke. But yeah, that would put Josh Rosen up one little notch closer. But why would the 49ers want to get rid of Garoppolo when they're going to draft a quarterback and make it an open competition?
Right.
And have him sit on the bench and learn a little bit. If you got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and you drafted a quarterback, you have now conceded the season, and that would be a shame with the running game, the defense, the tight end, the wide receivers, and especially that offensive line.
The only reason you might trade him is because you don't want the competition. You don't want the guy looking over his shoulder. You don't want him. You want him having that security. You don't want, you ruin a quarterback when you're not showing him confidence. And
on the flip side, Rick, you can ruin a quarterback when you don't have the experience.
Oh, I agree.
Pushing you as well.
I agree 100%. I think that I think that developing a quarterback. Well, I'll tell you what, Harry, I'm going to get going, but I'm covering this
Absolutely.
coming up. I'm covering this whole subject about developing quarterbacks coming up a little bit later in the show. So stick around if you can. I mean,
cool.
pop and come back and
No,
pop
of course
back in.
I will.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
I would love to. Hey, thanks for having me on, bud. I just wanted to come in for a few
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. And come on back.
minutes. Have a great evening.
Yep. All right. That was awesome. And now we have from the frigid north, Andrew Faubert. How you doing, brother?
Not too bad, Rick. How are we doing tonight?
Doing good. Doing good. Let me get this banner off of here saying that Harry's on the phone. There we go.
Oh, Harry.
Yep. How's it going, man?
Not too bad. It's Monday. Only got 2.5 days of work, and then I can enjoy the draft days and all of its coverage.
One more day. Tomorrow is my last work day.
There
Then
you
I have
go.
Wednesday off. Thursday, I hop on a plane and fly to Tampa, and I don't go back to work until Sunday.
Oh, very nice.
Oh yeah, I'm down in Tampa for Thursday and Friday. Saturday, I'm gonna come back. I got someone I'm getting together with on Saturday.
There you
And
go.
yeah, it's gonna be a good week.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, I would love to join you all, but obviously I cannot leave the border.
You mean at the draft party? Yeah.
Of course.
No, I'm joking.
Just randomly show up. Hi, Rick. I haven't even
Yeah.
met you in real life
Yeah,
yet.
but
And
hey.
I thought this would be a great time.
But hey, no, that would be fun if you were at the giraffe party. That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so let me ask you a question. What are your thoughts on what quarterback in the NFL do you think is under the most pressure?
Ooh. Are we talking a starter or
Yeah.
just okay?
No, a starter. Somebody who you're under the most pressure to perform this year.
First one that would come to mind, and it does suck that, he's such a young guy, but Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia comes to mind right away.
Mm-hmm.
I would even say Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, though I think this may be one of the first times in a while that even if he performs the same of what he did last year, and there's even whispers that they might try and draft someone, I think that's where you're going to start seeing the fans come in and be like, oh, no.
Yeah, he's got another year. He's got a year of what do they call? He's got capital spend.
Mhm.
Where he's got a year of if he has a bad year, he's still okay going into the next year. Then he'll have the pressure on him. You know who I was thinking? Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan as well, for sure.
Thinking, Matt Ryan has a lot of pressure on him because if he does not have a good year, it's done. I mean, Matt Ryan's done. He may be done anyway. I think we're going to see, but
It's hard to get away from the contract, but
yeah,
and I don't think any rookie on a 5-year rookie deal would obviously want to sit for 2 years, but if the Falcons could realistically have someone sit
they have
for
a
2
choice.
years,
Yeah, do they have a choice?
I mean,
I don't know that they have a choice. If somebody comes in, that may be the ideal situation, actually. But I don't know. Matt Ryan, I think, has to perform well. You could say Cam Newton, but nobody has expectations for them this year.
only the Patriot fans, of course.
I guess with Matt Ryan, the reason I say the pressure because honestly, there's not expectations on the Falcons either, but it's the pressure that's on him is okay. This is it, man. You've had your shot. One more time. I think that's what he's getting is like, this is it, buddy. This is your last shot. Take your swing. It's the exact opposite in Tampa, where Brady, I think, you couldn't have less pressure. He puts it on himself, but he does not have pressure from the league or from anything. His legacy is so secure at this point. He could have an awful year, and he's fine. They'll just blame Arians or Leftwich or whatever. Brady's going to be fine. They might say, okay, he's over the hill, but he's 44 at that point. So, okay, you can be over the hill at 44. That's okay.
At this point, I don't wish it upon us Buccaneer fans. I think next year he's obviously going to be the healthiest he's maybe not ever been, but he's going to be healthy enough where we're going to get what we wanted as fans to see throughout the whole year of what our offense can do and just what a championship caliber team can be.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised when 45, 46 years old comes around and he has that fourth year Peyton Manning with the Broncos.
It's going to happen at some point. It's going to start to impact him. Now, I think I still think he's got a couple years left.
Same.
But it's going to happen. And everybody who thinks, oh, he's going to play forever. No, he's not. And, that's the old saying, Father Time's undefeated and will remain undefeated. And Tom knows that. He came out with a documentary, Tom versus Time. He knows it. The clock's ticking. But right now, everything looks good. Everything looks good. So, what are you going to walk away from last year and say, I don't know, I'm a little concerned. I heard somebody the other day talking about, if you look at his completion percentage at the games right at the end of the year, it was not as good. And I'm like, you mean when they changed the style of game that they were playing and they were running the ball more and it was just a whole different type of offense? You mean that time when that was happening? And anybody who thinks that Brady ran into a brick wall at the end of the year.
How many more stats do people need to give him to fuel him? Like when they said, look at all those fans at the beginning of the year. They're like, Brady can't throw over 20 yards. That's why we need Winston back. And then all of a sudden he led the league in 20-yard completions. So I don't
But that stat doesn't count if you look at it from this angle and you try to find some other angle. Right. And that's what happens that's the old saying. You see what you believe. You don't believe what you see. Mm-hmm. And, you believe he's getting too old and it's affecting him. So now you're going to find a way to back that up. Happens all the time.
It's also all the time. Weird time where, there used to be a time where stats would really tell what a quarterback is. And now it's, the tape is really just telling what the quarterback is. Like we trust these stats way too much now where, Lamar Jackson can't complete this. The guy, no offense, he's only got Marquise Brown. Like he doesn't have really anybody else. Like there's a reason why they got back into the first. They're getting a wide receiver, whether they like it or not, or whether anybody else likes it. Well,
you've got to block for the guy too, though. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is you got to block. You don't just need a wide receiver. His current wide receivers will be better if you block.
Yep.
And they've just decided not to do that. They've decided we're going to go at it without blocking. We're going to see what happens. And
Ronnie Stanley did get injured too, and they did have the right tackle go to left, and I know all that. But yes, you are correct that they do have to.
But then they didn't re-sign him. They sent him to Kansas City, Orlando Brown.
Yes.
The guy who performed well, the guy, one of the guys who is on the offensive line that performed well, you send him to Kansas City.
Of all teams.
Right.
The team you're trying to get past too.
Right. I just don't understand the thinking with that. And that was just odd. That whole thing was odd. The draft. I want to talk about this also. The draft opens a world of possibilities. Mm-hmm. Not just for the Bucs, but the draft in general there's no way you can look at this draft and say, okay, I got a handle on this. No, you don't. Okay, you can guess. You can you're going to take your shots at it. We're all going to do that. We're all going to do our best. And I promise you it's going to be hilarious at the draft show when we're sitting here trying to guess who's going next and we're wrong every time.
Yep.
And it's going to happen this time and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Yeah, well, we're having fun. How about you? Join us. Come on.
Yeah.
So, but that's, let's all have a good time with this draft and make complete idiots out of ourselves and have fun with this draft because it's going to be different. It's going to be one to remember. Mm-hmm. It's going to be one to watch. That's for darn sure. It's going to be one to watch. So tune in, by the way, tune in because we do have some great things planned. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be there. I'm flying in for it. Harry the Greek will be there. Ray Kennedy will be there. Josh will be there. You're going to pop on, I'm hoping. Right? So you will be in and out throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm going to play the opener for you guys, a little bit of a promo for what we got coming up. right. So that's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I'm excited about that. I'm very, very excited. Let's see. Now, if I'm saying your name wrong, sorry. I think it's Tabasio. Well, the GOAT can retire whenever. It makes no difference because he's the reference. But I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, he's the reference. He's the reference.
He is the reference.
Right, and that's a fact. And I get your point there in what you're saying, and I think you're right. And Ari Moses says something. Is Matt Ryan Hall of Has-Been? Hall of Has-Been.
I mean, he was an MVP.
Yeah, I don't think he's Hall of Fame.
Not as of it stands right now. No. If he can get it back together and he goes to a team later on that can get on a bit of a winning streak at the end of his career, and maybe he does get like one Super Bowl or something, they'll consider it because of the MVP and then because of the Super Bowl. But you're asking for a lot of things to fall into place at that point.
Yeah. And Ari also says Julio is garbage in the red zone.
Oh, so we find the one bad stat that he's bad at. Come on now here.
And Mike Evans has bad hamstrings, okay? And Chris Godwin can't catch in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can always find something. Let me tell you something. Julio Jones has earned every accolade that guy gets. I hate him. I hate the Falcons. I can't stand them. I cannot stand them. But I respect the heck out of what that guy has done.
Yep. And if he does get traded, which surprised the Falcons put that out before draft.
Yep.
That was awesome. If a team does trade for him, and it's a bigger team, say Buffalo says we're going all in and we want to have another number one on the other side, and they do it because they could have the cap space to do it, that would be very scary for Green Bay.
And I got a theory. Well, there you go. See, I've got an interesting little theory that I think the Falcons could do, and it would not shock me if they did. I think they would be willing to unload Julio Jones at a very, 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 very friendly asking price. Like, not ask for much at all for Julio Jones. If you'll take Matt Ryan too.
Interesting.
Okay. And then you've got, you're clearing for the new coach and the new regime to come in. You're starting over. And the thing is this, and this is what I want to talk about. It is time for the Falcons to reset, I believe.
Yep.
I mean, I think they need to step back before they're going to step forward. I think both of those guys off the roster gives them a clean slate, that you're no longer living in the past and living on the past. Now you're looking forward and you're starting from, okay, we are here. Where are we going? Not, okay, we still got Matt Ryan. Where are we going? I don't know. In a couple of years, we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
That doesn't make as much sense to me. So I think, and I may be wrong, but I would not be shocked if Matt Ryan did not go with Julio somewhere. And
that would be interesting.
New England. So
see, it's just that would be if that happened. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to. I know,
but all of a sudden you look at that and go, "Oh, yeah,"
and see,
like that makes sense. Wait a minute. All of a sudden that makes sense. Hold on, and then wait till that Bucs Patriots game next year in New England. That would be a blast. That would be a blast.
A lot of people's mock drafts are very scared, and even I think in real life, if you look at the Falcons ownership, I bet you any money, Belichick called them at like 2:30 in the morning and was just like, "Hey, you got Arthur Smith over there? I want to talk to Arthur Smith really quick.
Is Arthur available?
Yeah.
Arthur?
I'll give you my 2023 first and maybe a couple thirds and some fourths, and I'll let you take what the heck's my offensive? Yeah, I'll take him. You take him too, and Matt Patricia and all of them. You just give me Matt Ryan and Julio, and I'll just go win some more Super Bowls and stuff."
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. How fun would it be? I want everybody to envision something for just a second. Envision Super Bowl. What's next year?
56.
Okay, imagine 56 being the Bucs in New England.
Oh,
Just
and
imagine.
it's possible. You know,
I know.
Joshua
I know.
Allen
But
is,
can you imagine? Can you imagine the hype behind that game?
oh, it's oh.
Epic, epic, highest rated Super Bowl ever. Epic beyond belief. Fairy tale movies would be written. Minstrels would sing songs. I mean,
They bought their team back.
yeah.
I mean, that team, I mean, if you look at some of the comparisons, there's a video on YouTube. If you look at some of the comparisons of some of the players that they bought this year,
Yeah.
it looks like I think it was the '07 squad,
Yeah.
like one of the best squads they had. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't like that at all.
Yeah. But
It's just, they have
but that's right. That's where I was going with it. It's like, yeah. Cam Newton. So yeah, but he's gotten a team to the Super Bowl before. He was horrible in the Super Bowl, but he got a team there. So I don't know. But I mean, I think the draft opens a whole world of possibilities where literally anything can happen for anybody. I don't think anybody needs to be tied in to their pick or anything. I mean, it's all just wide open. It's the Wild Wild West.
Yep. I mean, you know, Tennessee last year really screwed everybody's boards up and really just screwed a lot of people up when they really stuck with Isaiah Wynn or whatever his name was, or Wilson. And look what happened. He's not even on your roster anymore. And that's a wasted first round pick that you could have easily turned around to Cleveland if that rumor was true last year about Odell.
Right. Now, I want to ask something about this, though, because you do mock drafts.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a little note that I've written down here. Just I wrote down mocking the chaos with a question mark because how do you mock this draft without it just literally being I don't know, okay, him. And I mean, how do you do that? Are you going, do you try to glean from interviews or things that the team has said? Or info that the players come out and say, yeah, we've talked to this team or that team a lot. Or I mean, how do you drill down on something like this? Because it's really bizarre. No, there's no consensus over like the top 30 picks. Whatever top after you get past 5, I think it is basically.
Yep,
it's a crapshoot. I mean, you've got guys that you're saying, okay. What's his name? Mac Jones may go. Yeah, Mac Jones may go third. Yep. Mac Jones may go in the third round. I mean, you've got there's so much latitude in what's going on. How do you do this? How do you even begin to try to mock this chaos?
Well, I mean, for me, I just look at it as kind of a casino or gambling in a way. You're never going to beat the house. Vegas was created because Vegas did what it does.
Right.
The algorithm will never be changed.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm the type of person who has sat at a roulette table and stared at the board, and I've had a person approach me and be like, you can't just be sitting talking to yourself. I'm like, I ain't got a mic. I'm just running numbers in my head. This is literally all I'm doing.
Yeah.
And the guy later on bought me a beer and was just like, "You're funny, and people don't just do that at a roulette table." But okay,
and I do. That's funny because that's actually, and they always say roulette is like the worst game you can play odds wise. Let me talk to you about that sometime because I'll talk to you about this off the air because that's something that.
Yep. For me, you kind of look at it in a weird way like that. Right now, it's brand new game when you look at the NFL mock draft, and this year is the first time that you can almost guarantee, and it's pretty much 99.9% that Trevor Lawrence is going number 1.
Right.
So if you look at boards like what we're doing at North Sports, we're just doing one based off of points and giving people bonuses for if they actually were to get a trade right and stuff like that, because you want the fan and the person who's doing it to feel that, oh yeah, I guessed that trade. Now you are ahead of people and this, that, and everything else. Yeah. So for me, it's, everything that Joshua Cole Allen has done and anything that Adam Schefter has done, because I've talked about those levels before, and everything that Joshua Cole Allen does, and he does something similar, to what I do and this, that, and everything. So but for me,
Yeah,
One thing
sorry.
that's,
that's
everything that Joshua Cole, it kind of tripped me out for a second. I was
No,
like,
sorry.
am I lost in my mind? The one thing I like to do is, the constant mock drafts, but I take a different swing to it where now your major influences, like your Adam Schefter and your Ian Rappaports and stuff like that, there's subdivisions to those where there's
Right.
insiders for specific teams. Specific teams now have specific podcasts. Specific podcasts will have certain players on. Certain players will, be asked a certain question and all of a sudden go, I don't know, maybe he won't even be at camp or something like that, right? And all of a sudden, if it's a certain player at a certain position that you thought was already a lock, now all of a sudden I'm looking at the Chargers at 13 being like, maybe they could go edge rusher. Something that we weren't thinking before.
That's the thing is, listen, somebody always gets drafted way earlier than you think, and somebody always gets drafted way later. There's always usually multiple players that are sliding down the board, especially one that they highlight and horrify and embarrass and humiliate in front of, in the green room where they got the camera on the guy's face every time somebody doesn't pick them. Yep. And they then at the end of the day they're like, how did it feel to not get picked on day one? And this is what the guy's going to have to deal with, and it's going to happen to somebody, and it's going to happen to somebody again this year. Who's going to be the guy that either is a surprise going up or a surprise going down?
Well, I think the Raiders are going to pick someone completely off the board at 17 that we haven't even heard of until like the third or fourth round, because that just seems like an inevitable lock.
Right.
I even incorporated that into many of my mocks. It's one of those just in cases, like those dynamite picks where you can't expect it.
Could you see the Raiders taking Mac Jones?
If he's see,
that's where my brain went.
I've started to think of more along the lines of if you can make certain contracts work and move certain players with certain contracts, like a Derek Carr.
Right.
Could you move up to, you're not going to move up to the Lions, obviously, because they just got Jared Goff.
Right.
But for some odd reason, say the rumor about Tua was correct, that he needs a couple years. All of a sudden, that team is ready to go, and you can put a almost MVP caliber guy in there. It's something that happens every year where we're like, what do you mean this happened? And all of a sudden the little guy with 16 followers on Twitter's little tweet where he called it is getting retweeted and blown out the butt and this, that, and everything else.
Right.
The player though this year that I do think he's going to fall, and I think it's kind of why the Patriots are getting they're kind of getting a little yelled at for this, is not bringing back the people who opted out. Sorry.
Right.
So I think players who didn't play last year at certain positions are going to fall. And I do think Penei Sewell, Gregory Rousseau, those guys, like Gregory Rousseau might just fall to the second and someone might just get lucky at like 55, 56. There was another lineman that I saw there too that, he just, besides Penei Sewell, it's just another one of those opt-outs that you just don't know. Where is that Wisconsin kid, the Menares or whatever his name is, that center prospect? Jacksonville could just say 33, here's my center that's going to develop with Trevor Lawrence,
Right. That's what I think. I think Jacksonville's second pick is going to be a lineman. I think that. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Jacob Charnell is and Joshua Cole Allen's mock drafts and certain other influences have really kind of convinced me that when you have like 10 to 13 offensive linemen that can go from, the top end of the first to the bottom end of the second, and you're all of a sudden getting your franchise quarterback, it kind of just seems pretty easy to go 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Remember when the Bucs did it with Marpet and who was it? Was it Donovan Smith? At the
Donovan Smith,
yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, it was Donovan Smith
in the third.
No, it was Donovan Smith.
Okay, it was Smith.
Yeah, and it just seems to me like that becomes the wise. You've got that investment that you've got to protect, and I think that'll happen. So.
And that's why, when we were around the first mock drafts of everybody, just, the first, say, initial
1.0s.
the 1.0 is like that first initial wave of free agency
Right.
and news and stuff like that, where everyone sucks it in and kind of puts it on the board and stuff like that. And this was before Donovan Smith was re-signed, and I even said, like, if we're just gonna give him the option next year and then be done with it, kind of thing, it would be dumb enough not to go and grab the best offensive lineman in the first round.
Yep.
And a lot of people at that time didn't necessarily know. They're like, oh, there's Penei Sewell and Rashawn Slater, and then there's no one. It's like, well, you don't know about Samuel Cosme or Tevin Jenkins, these 6 foot, like 9 to 7 from these schools. We don't even know.
I think he's freezing.
I mean,
you're freezing to me. I don't know if anybody else in the chat is seeing him freeze or not. You guys let me know. But right now, I'm gonna pull him out of the off the screen. I don't know. Is he freezing for you guys? Did he freeze for you guys, or was it just me? Let me know what you guys are seeing. Matt Colson, if you can let me know, I would appreciate it. Yeah, okay, he's all max headroomed. Okay, so it wasn't just me. And we'll bring him back in a little while. I got a couple of things I want to talk about, and we'll get back to Andrew. But I want to talk about Kyle Trask. I want to talk about developing a quarterback. And this is something I want to get into because I think the mentality in the NFL is changing. I think the mentality has always been go get the franchise guy. Go get the franchise guy. But I think that there's a group of teams. I think they're starting to I think there's a change in thinking. I think some teams are starting to say, we're going to keep a quarterback. If we can build a much stronger team if we're not paying a quarterback a ton of money. And I think that's a brand new approach that teams are starting to look at. I heard this week they're talking about, Baltimore is looking at maybe Lamar Jackson isn't the guy you want to stick with. And you're starting to see a lot of quarterbacks that have been with teams that all of a sudden are starting to move around. And, they go from their rookie contract, moving on, and things become different. And I wonder whether or not teams are not going to start sitting here and saying, okay, we'll bring a guy on for 4 or 5 years and then we'll move on to the next guy. But we'll just put an extremely strong team around him because we won't have the salary cap constraints. I think that might be a change coming to the NFL, guys. I think that may be a change coming to the NFL. I also think you may start seeing running backs have greater value. I think teams may start relying on that again. It goes in cycles. And I think you're going to start seeing the pass-catching backs really start to become more important. But I think the running back position is going to start to become a lot more important. But Kyle Trask, do you want to bring... I've heard so many Bucs fans say, yeah, maybe bring in Kyle Trask. And I know that Arians and Light have had to respond to it. And have said, yeah, well, you never know. We're open to it. Well, of course they're going to say that. They're not going to rule out something like that. Why? What do you gain? So, no, they're not going to rule it out. To me, I believe that Kyle Trask is probably not on the Buccaneers' radar, that they're probably not looking at developing a quarterback. I don't think that's where they're at here. I don't think they're really thinking about, let's go through the process of growing a franchise, of growing a quarterback. They're in win now mode. They are in win now mode. And that means, and I believe 2-3 years from now, even if Brady has disappeared, they're still going to be in win now mode because they have a young defense. And if they replace Sue and they replace JPP, those are really the two old guys that you got to do something with. Otherwise, that defense is hanging together. So it's my belief that this team, guys, we're in for a run. We're not in for a year. We're not in for one more year. and then it all comes apart. We're in for a little bit of a run here. For the next 4 or 5 years, quarterback will change, but I don't think they're looking at developing a quarterback and trying to do that. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think they're going to be thinking about bringing in a different free agent quarterback at that point. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I believe this team is wanting to do. Jason Light is not, I don't think, looking for that. Ari Moses says JPP is one of Light's best gets. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. I agree completely. Matt Colson says, let's do a triple check. I'm thinking that's a reference to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. With the discount double check, I'm not really sure. Okay. But I think that there's a new way to view quarterbacks. And I think that the way quarterbacks are going to be approached by teams because of that mega contract, and we see the damage being done to teams like Kansas City, and we see what's going on there. I think the mega contract for quarterbacks, I think those days may be coming to an end. I think that might be happening. Matt Colson says he's talking about 3 Lombardis. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Now, I want to bring up a word that everybody doesn't like. There are a lot of fans that say, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Oh, God, not again. Don't talk about that. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to go there, guys. I want to talk about Jameis Winston. Sorry. I want to talk about Jameis Winston. And, I think as I look at it now, my perspective on him changing teams, I think it was good for everybody. I think it was good for Jameis because he's able to kind of clear his head and not have that baggage, because those people don't know the baggage that he had here. They know about it sort of, but they don't really have that baggage that's still here in Tampa. So Winston is freed from that baggage, and the Bucs are freed from that baggage. The Bucs are freed, and you got the greatest of all time. Bucs win. Okay, that's kind of settled. But my perspective on Winston changing teams was that this was good for everybody, and it could be good for Winston. And I want to be clear about something, Bucs fans, and this is maybe an unpopular opinion, but everybody wrap your mind around this. At least consider what I'm saying. Even if you don't agree with it, I'm cool with that. But I want you to consider what I'm about to say. Jameis Winston is not a pushover at quarterback. Jameis Winston, even when he was on the Bucs, was not easy to beat. He was a difficult player to beat. He tended to make mistakes that would undermine all the things he did right. And understand, that same guy is the guy that's in New Orleans. A couple years older, a couple years more mature, but that same guy is in New Orleans. And to think it's just going to be a pushover and easy to win, it wasn't a pushover or easy to beat the Bucs during that time. So, all I'm saying is this: don't count your chickens. Give the devil his due. Give Sean Payton the respect that he deserves. Give the New Orleans Saints the respect they deserve, because they haven't sucked yet. Even when Breeze went out and they had Bridgewater, they didn't suck. When Breeze went out and they put in Taysom Hill, they didn't suck. So there's no reason to automatically say, now Breeze retired, they're going to suck. That may not be the case. That may not be the case. Okay, that they may be a team that we still have to battle with. I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. Let me open this up to you guys. The phone lines. Let me open up the phone lines to get your take on what I just said, and I will put the link back in chat if you want to come on. But if you are coming on, you need to come on video. So let me put this down here, and I want to hear from you. Where's the Parrot Army tonight, guys? Where are you at? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Okay, good. Good. Matt from Oklahoma City. Matt, brother, how are you?
I'm good, man.
Excellent.
Been trying to generate people and talk trash.
So what are your thoughts about what I said about Jameis? I mean,
You know what I think of Jameis, and we've talked about this before. He's got all the physical attributes that a Hall of Famer would have,
yeah.
and his brain pan doesn't work. I mean, it sounds terrible. I don't want to.
No, I understand what you're saying. He's a poor decision maker. I get it. It's the gray matter between his ears that's what holds him back. I think you're right.
Yeah, I had a car like that once. I mean, it would run like hell, but it ate gas like
Yeah.
like there was a hole in the back end of it.
Well,
it was just it didn't. Jameis showed us here over the time, and I think this team was very patient with him, even though we went through all the transition and whatnot.
I agree.
They went through all the steps to try to give him everything he could have. So good that when he left, the next guy up took us to the Super Bowl. So it wasn't a lack of team trying to put the things together for him. It was just he doesn't fit.
But that doesn't make him a pushover,
ball.
does it? I mean, it's not like when you watched him, you didn't see talent. We all saw it.
Oh, no. There were a lot of games where I would get excited. I mean, I got more excited watching Jameis games than I did with Tom Brady this year.
His games were exciting. They were edge of your seat, full throttle, ride that roller coaster, you know.
All the way to the last.
Oh, yeah.
All the way to the last.
Yeah, they were fun. I'll say it. They were fun. They were horrible. They were wonderful. They were all of that. They were all of those things. They were spectacular, and they were horrifying. But
and
the dude's not easy to beat.
No, he's not easy to beat, but he'll beat himself if you give him the opportunity.
That's correct. But that's correct. And if New Orleans has figured out a way to tame a little bit of that beast, they're going to be a tough out. And everybody who I hear just counting on, the Saints are going to be the worst in the division. The Saints are going to be bad. I think you're jumping way ahead. We haven't seen that yet. Let's wait till we see that for a game or two.
I think Atlanta's going to be the doormat this year.
I think so too.
And I think New Orleans could come in second, or they could come in third. But I don't think New Orleans is going to be in the playoffs.
I'm going to say I think New Orleans could.
Close to that.
Yeah, New Orleans is going to be a battle for first. Okay, I think everybody wants to write them off, but keep in mind, even with Drew Brees, you had a Drew Brees who wasn't throwing for more than 20 yards per pass. Sean Payton knows how to utilize the guys he has on the field. They won it with a quarterback. They won, 5 games with a quarterback that had never thrown a touchdown pass? 3 games into starting, he still hadn't thrown, but they were winning? This is God, I hate him. I hate him.
That happened. You can get away with the first quarter of the year off of not having previous game tape like they had with the tight end that they turned into a quarterback. But after a month and there's game film out there, those games don't come as easy. So once coordinators have a little bit to look at, they have a tendency to make adjustments and make it harder.
And listen, everybody, understand this. And this is when I was saying about the Bucs playing chicken a little bit with regards to AB. AB could sign with the Saints tomorrow.
Yeah,
let it settle. Okay, Winston could be throwing to AB. All right, let it settle, guys, because that's a reality that we have to understand that this is part of what's happening. When he's a free agent, you don't get to pick where he goes. And he could end up in Carolina, he could end up in Atlanta, he could end up in New Orleans, and there's nothing we can say about it. And you guys who get mad at him for it, well, the Bucs didn't pay him what that other team did. So he went there.
But there's not enough dust around AB right now to make you think that that's something to be concerned with. To me, anyway.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
What I mean is there's nobody kicking the tires.
Do you believe nobody's going to sign AB?
Say it again?
Do you believe nobody's going to sign AB?
No, I think he's going to play for somebody.
I believe tires are being kicked. We just don't know about the tires being kicked.
Well, that's possible, but remember, Jameis's agent said he was a $30 million quarterback, and that's why he ended up.
Oh, I understand. But everything changed, and I don't blame Jameis's agent for thinking that, because in any other year, he was a $30 million quarterback. But it was a weird year where all of a sudden you had a glut of Cam Newton, out there at free agency, and you had Tom Brady become a free agent, and you had Phillip Rivers become a free agent, and you had this massive parade of free agent quarterbacks. Yeah, he kind of got caught. It was a weird year, and he kind of got caught up in it. Let me bring. Matt. I'm going to run for just a little bit. Please come back in a little bit. I got a couple of guys waiting here that I want to grab. Sure. All right, but I want you to come back, please. I appreciate this call. This was a good call. All right, that was Matt Colson, Matt from Oklahoma City. Let me bring in, first of all, for a couple of minutes here, real quick, the best of the Bay, and they ain't kidding when they say that. He is the best of the Bay. Ray Kennedy from Cup of Ray. I'm happy to have you here, brother. Did you hear my whole thing I was just talking about there, about how I think Jameis is not an easy beat?
No, not at all. But more importantly, you talked about AB, and especially in light of the news last week that entire thing was settled. And whatever that may mean. They always preface it, or they always end it with saying, well, the NFL's still looking into it.
Right.
The NFL's been looking into it for 14 months, and so I know that the NFL probably didn't want to move on it ahead of time because they didn't want to let the courts go through it. But if trust me, if there would have been where there's smoke there, if there would have been fire where there was smoke in the NFL, once that litigation was released last week, they probably within 48 hours would have announced some type of punishment. So basically, AB is just a true and blue free agent. And there's got to be at least 10 teams that are like.
Yeah, they're sniffing around the goods. And there's no way when everybody says, "Oh yeah, nobody's interested." Yeah, that's not true. There's no way that's true.
By the way,
absolutely no way.
Can you see the full moon over?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Yeah, we got a full moon tonight.
Yeah, how about that?
Beautiful tropical breezes coming across here tonight, and
I'm looking forward to being there, brother. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good night. We're going to be knocking it out of the ballpark at Ferg's, just having a great time. The staff at Ferg's is so fantastic, and the food is just phenomenal. And it's going to be a great draft party, and and that's the great thing is that we're going to make it as much fun for those who can't make it but are watching it here on Bucs Report as much as we're going to have for the people that have already been reaching out to us and telling us that they're going to be there. So it's going to be a good time. Everyone can put the channel on. I implore you, put on the channel and watch, watch it live when Goodell goes to do the thing. But then keep it here, because the moment that pick, don't forget, like 10 of the teams that pick there in the top first round are opponents the Bucs will play next year. So these players that they're selecting will be immediate impacts as to how the Bucs will be playing against these teams. From that standpoint alone, makes it interesting.
Yeah, I think that's true. And, one of the things I try to do on the show, I try to only bring in one person at a time, but I'm going to sort of break that rule right now because of the draft party. I want to bring in Joshua Cole Allen. Joshua's going to be there with us. If Harry the Greek wants to come on, we can sort of have a little draft pre-show here real quick. If Harry is still around and wants to come on, if he's pretty enough to come on.
Pretty enough?
He's in makeup right now.
If he makes himself think he's pretty enough.
Oh, Harry's pretty enough. He's got a face made for radio.
Yeah. If we can get him in here, that would be awesome. But yeah, I think it'll. I think
Guys,
that'll
I'm
work.
excited. I'm rocked, ready to go. I just downloaded the Beast today. If you don't know what the Beast is, the Athletics' Dane Brugler puts out a 200 and some odd page draft guide every single year. Yeah, we're ready. We've got it. Look at these pages, guys. I'm going to go in and highlight, add my notes, the pictures to the guys that I think are real, prime Bucs targets. Add my own notes from the scouting I've done. But yeah, we're ready. We're locked and loaded. I can't wait to dive in on Friday night with you guys and pop in Thursday night from Ray J. It's going to be a great atmosphere there. Can't wait to bring you some live shots from there, hopefully some live press conferences from there from Jason Light and other members of the organization. I'm hearing maybe Devin White might be there, maybe Tristan Wirfs might be there. So, maybe be able to bring you some of that content as well. Should be a great time though.
That's exciting. That is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that. What we're gonna do, guys, the first night, Ray and me and Harry, we are gonna be at Ferg's live there with you, partying with you, and I promise you we will be. So come on down, and what we'll be doing is connecting to Joshua. Joshua will be coming in live from the draft party at Raymond James, and then on Friday night, Joshua will be at Ferg's. So it's going to be. I
don't know what I'm more excited for. The draft or meeting Rick for the first time. I'm very excited to finally meet you.
It better be the draft, or you're going to be really disappointed.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. It's weird. I feel like I know you guys already so well. I feel like I've met you guys before, and that's why it hit me when I was thinking about last time. I was like, oh yeah, man. Last time I was down there, I didn't even meet you guys. That's kind of weird because I feel like I know you guys. I've talked to you guys enough. I feel like I know you. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting.
So Rick, you're saying on Friday night, drinks are on you. So
they probably will be on me, but I mean, but no, it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I really want you guys to come out if you can make it to Ferg's, because it's going to be well worth you coming out there. I can tell you, it's going to be well worth you coming out there.
It's drink specials, giveaways, food specials, all
good
sorts
times.
Of fun things.
Well, they've got a special thing. They've got this thing where they feature local breweries, and this month I want to say it's Reef Donkey, so that would be Tampa Bay Brewing Company. Basically, it's $4 or $3 12-ounce IPAs. Of course, if you drink Reef Donkey, which I basically do, or I have. I'm not sure I will be doing that during the draft party. I'm going to be keeping it real.
You kind of look like a reef donkey. I'm not going to lie.
Wait, I look like a reef donkey?
I'm not even sure what a reef donkey is, but
Josh looks like the backside of a reef donkey, all right?
Especially when he puts his mouth in a round circle like that. But
oh, guys, this is crazy. I'm excited. I can't wait. It's been too long since I've got to, hang out with the BR crew. So
yeah,
and throwing Mr. Rick Hughes in there is going to be a great time. So
it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Joshua, one of the things I brought up that I want to bring up to you real quick while we have you here, because I mean, we'll cover this. I'll cover this with you also tomorrow. That we've got a special draft show coming tomorrow night. A special version of the Audible tomorrow night that I think you guys are going to want to tune in and be a part of. It's digging into the weeds of the draft, where we're going to really get into the details and all the nitty gritty, and we're going to bring it to you guys as though you're not sitting here experts. Okay, so we're going to get me started on I'm going to try to stay calm on this one. But we're hitting on something that to me is a thing, okay? If there's one thing that I hate, it's people pretending or posing to be experts. People who are posing as though they know it all. Drives me freaking nuts. And one thing that I hate is guys when somebody's sitting here I don't want to hear only acronyms when we're doing draft shows.
BPA.
Don't sit there. Right. Don't be like, well,
Rick.
right.
I'm over
His
very
yak.
fast, good on the pocket. He's a short tackler.
No, but I mean, yak. He's got. I mean, there's so many little acronyms and things that we use, and to me that drives me nuts. I always used to laugh as a photographer when photographers would refer to their lenses. They'd say, "Well, I just went and bought some new glass." They went and bought a lens, okay? But they'd say, I went and bought glass, or it would be this uppity, haughty kind of a. They wouldn't say, "Oh wow, that's a nice picture that you took." They'd be, "Oh, that's a nice capture." They'd always use these terms and all this. And guys, I want to bring this draft to people who don't sit there and get into the weeds like we do.
What? That's perfect because, and it's also a great learning ability too. So I can tell you, he's got great yak, which is yards after the catch. He's got great yak, which is yards after contact.
Right, just be saying what that is, right?
Yeah. So it's a great way for you guys to learn those acronyms if you're not sure.
Right.
Most of our
Yeah,
viewers
just make sure that
but
they're explained and they're not, it's not. Look, I just don't want to. I remember me as a fan when I don't want to have to think. I always laugh, and in corporate meetings, it's the worst. When the guy getting up in front of the corporate meeting, one of the things they're going to do is throw out as many acronyms as they possibly can. And you're sitting there having to spend half of the meeting trying to interpret. What does he say? Wait, what does that one mean? What is, And you're sitting there doing it because to them, they're comfortable spitting them out. And they feel like, I mean, I had a boss at my last job who, thrived on acronyms, loved acronyms, and half the time he was talking to me, my wheels are entirely spinning, going, "What's he saying? Wait a minute, what's he saying? What's he saying? What does that one mean? Hold on." And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but to me, I want us to bring the draft to everybody without this like you hear sometimes on the 4-letter network or whatever. We don't need to be posed like that. We don't need to be like that. Listen, man, we're, like it or not, as much as we're professionals and try to, I'm gonna go here. As much as we try to present a nice professional approach, media approach, it's mixed with being a fan. It is mixed with being a fan. None of us here don't want the Bucs to win. We all want the Bucs to win and root for them and cheer for them.
Well, I wanted to also mention for those people out there that are watching this that are right here in the Bay Area, and again, as we've gotten to this better place, and we've gotten, we're getting to the, working for that herd immunity, and we haven't got there yet, but. If we're doing a socially distanced thing and we're going to be in there at first, but it is outdoors, there'll be moving winds and you can stay socially distanced, but we're going to have all kinds of giveaways. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a great time. So if not even just to come out and just, interact with the Bucs Report and have a great time at our draft party, also for the great food, the good drinks, the camaraderie, and just start putting it together because we don't even know where we're going to have our game day watch parties this next season because we like to keep that a secret until we get there. But if you're going to be coming out there, you're always invited. Come out and have the best time because we're all going to be watching it anyway. Why not do it with a group and have a great time? A Thursday night, that was always the night you could throw away. You could stay up a little later on Thursday night. I used to stay up late and Friday you can go and just mail it in. But definitely come out and join us because we're going to have numerous door prizes, not only for the Bucs.
Friday, mail it in. I'm going to be there Friday. You guys want to come out Friday? See me? No work the next day. You want to be out there Thursday and Friday. Make sure you save some money from your paycheck from last week because it's going to be a great time. The specials on drinks and food are going to save you a couple bucks anyways. Be able to come out both nights. Definitely come out both nights. And the second day, I think the Bucs are going to be a little bit more movers and shakers, especially if Rick gets his wish, and they don't even make a pick on Thursday too.
Right. So I want to bring up something, guys, about the draft. I want to bring up my sort of the more I think about it, the deeper I dig into this, and the more I approach this whole thing. I want to talk about now. Who are the players you hear most mentioned for the Bucs? Joshua, who are the players you hear most mentioned?
Recently, it's been Joe Tryon, Landon Dickerson.
Name the positions.
Joe Tryon, edge rusher from Washington. Landon Dickerson, center/guard from Alabama. I don't know why I blanked on that one. Jalen Phillips, edge rusher from Miami. These are guys that I'm hearing. Jalen Phillips, I'm not sure he lasts that long anymore. Another guy is an edge rusher, Joseph Osai.
Okay, so
it's mostly edge rushers.
This is why I wanted to bring this up, okay? Because we also hear Najee Harris. These are the ones that everybody gets talking about. Najee Harris or
not as much anymore.
What's that?
Not as much anymore.
Not by you or by the professionals, but on Facebook, that's still the thing everybody's kind of buzzing about are players like that because it's the sexier thing. It's the offensive skill position. People talk about it. I want to bring up something that I've been thinking about, and I know you got to go, Joshua, so I'll be as quick as I can on this. I have a thought about this. If the Buccaneers are going to draft in the number 32 position, or even if they're going to trade up in the first round, or whatever they're planning on doing, I want defense.
Yeah.
I want defense. I want as much defense and lined as possible. Because of this, don't settle now. Don't settle. You shut Kansas City down in the Super Bowl. Don't settle. Get better.
Yeah.
Keep digging. Get better. Put your boot on their throat. Get better. Make it impossible to score.
I'm glad you mentioned Kansas City because Orlando Brown Jr., of course, gets traded from the Ravens, finalizes that deal today. And, the kid's a great lineman, but he was playing on the right tackle position over in Baltimore, but now he'll move to the left tackle position. And he's like, I'm looking, and of course, they're saying they're going to let him play out the 1 year of his contract. That may be posturing by the team, looking to try to get him to sign something a little more long-term so that they can have some more stability at that left tackle position. Of course, going into Super Bowl 55 last year, both the tackles for those Chiefs were out, and it really did show in that game. But I said, the first reaction I had when I saw that quote of his, and he's just doing the team thing, saying the right things for his fan base and all. But he goes, I want to be here and I want to be protecting Patrick Mahomes for a long time. I'm here for the long haul, and I'm thinking, wait till after you see it. And of course, they're not on a schedule as of next year. If we play them next year, of course, it would have to be, out there in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles against those Chiefs in Super Bowl 56.
Rematch.
I'm thinking it wouldn't be the first time. Remember how the Steelers and the Cowboys in the rematch in the Super Bowls but it wouldn't be. I'm thinking, you might want to be there, but wait till you go up against JPP and you got Vita ripping up the middle.
None of that. Joey Bosa 2 times a year. Miller, Brown, Chubb 2 times a year.
Can you guys imagine? I brought this up with Andrew. Can you guys imagine for a moment a Bucs Patriots Super Bowl next year?
I heard you. Yes.
Can you imagine how insane the ratings would be?
Oh, through the roof. That game already is probably going to be the highest watched regular season game. Of the season.
Well, guys, let's go because the AFC East of next year, right, with Flores in Miami and what Buffalo and Sean McDermott's doing there in Buffalo, and even with the Jets with their incredible pick, they're going to put Zach Wilson in there and just Robert Saleh is going to let him go crazy. But even the AFC East is not the pushover division it once was.
Right.
So even if Bill Belichick makes a move and gets another quarterback or Cam in his second year really comes through. But still, I want to ask you guys forget about what we think the NFL on May 12th when they do schedule the actual dates and times for the games. What time of the year would you what day and time?
When do I want to play New England?
Yeah,
November? Like Thanksgiving weekend? Like maybe like
I think November. Like November's like, isn't it like sweeps week or something like that? Isn't it one of those like big ratings months?
Isn't that like November, like around Thanksgiving?
I think it's like the first week in November or the second week in November. It's like a big.
That's when it'll probably happen.
I think it's like the end of the quarter.
Wonder if the Bucs will play on Thanksgiving at all. I wonder if that'll happen.
We play the Cowboys.
I think
we play them here.
Cowboys are here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else we play? Who else?
That's it. We played Detroit last year, so.
Yeah, we don't play the NFC Central or.
Well, we play the Rams every year anyway.
And the Giants. We play the Giants for 4 years.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I got to run.
Yeah, here you go. Tell everybody where you're at, where to find you.
The Audible every Thursday, except for this Thursday. It will not be on at 8:30. I might do a pop-up show during the day. We might do a little bit of mock drafting during the day. So look for that. I'll definitely post something before I go on, but maybe a little bit of surprise pop-up Audible during Thursday. Either of you guys are around, you're more than welcome to join in. But tomorrow we're going to have a big show, me and Rick, talking about the draft, breaking down some of these draft prospects, breaking down some of what these experts think, breaking down some of these mocks that have been out. I'll have a brand new mock out tomorrow. Lots of movement, lots of trades there. So make sure you check out that. I got a little teaser on my Twitter feed right now at Joshua_C_Allen if you want to check that out. But Rick, Tampa, I can't wait to hang out with you guys on Friday. Can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to see you again.
It's going to be fun, man.
It's going to be a great time. It's draft week, baby. Let's go.
You got it. You got it. I'll see you tomorrow night, brother.
See you then.
All right. Awesome. So yeah, Ray. I mean, how do you feel about the defense? Like what I was talking about, because I'm getting more pumped up about drafting defense.
Oh no, and again, we talked about JPP, the second year of his 2-year extension. I still think he's got another couple of years, another year or two. Yeah. But it's the good teams do that. The good teams will take a strength. And, of course, our strength happens to be on both sides of the ball, but they don't just rest on their laurels. They'll just go ahead and not the best player available, but even if there's a player they know that no other team has rated on their board in the next 5 or 10 picks, but another team looks to want to move to that 32 position. I think that, and I'd be remiss to say, guys, that I'm looking so forward to see how these quarterbacks play in the top of this draft. I'm looking to see when Kyler, when Pitts goes from Florida. There's so many interesting storylines to the draft on Thursday night, which is why, joining us here on Bucs Report and coming down for our draft party is going to be such a fantastic thing. But even if we get later in the evening and the Bucs trade out, I always say in light we trust, and we're still going to be talking about those 10 teams that are drafting there in the first round that we play next year, and the players they select, those first round players, of course, they're impact players. They're supposed to be starters from day one. So those are going to be players the Buccaneers are going to be game planning for. Agreed.
Now, let me ask you this. How do you deal with, and fans, I'm going to want you guys, all you Parrot Army out there, I want to hear from you guys on this. Those of you who are still in chat, please go ahead. I want to hear from you on this. How are you adjusting to picking number 32? Because it's a whole different experience. How are you approaching the draft differently? Are you turning it on later? What are you planning on doing? Yeah, I'm hoping you're going to tune in with us.
Yes.
But my question is, how are you adjusting to the draft? How is it? Because this is different. We're used to picking right off the top.
Well, I'll use the New England Patriots. I'll use the New England Patriots as an example, and that being that, having won so many Super Bowls in the last, in Tom Brady's tenure there under Bill Belichick, and they were always picking at 32, and they were usually trading out of that draft pick. But the fact of the matter is that I just use that as an example that I'd still when it got around to pick number 32, because I was definitely always watching the draft to see what the other teams are picking, but I was looking to see which team New England is going to pick to make their team better. And like I said, the rich get richer, and I wanted to see which team, which player they were going to, because I knew they had a great drafting. And I wanted to see who they were going to bring in to continue, the dynasty and that they had for 19 years.
Yeah. Everything all right there?
Yeah, my dog got loose. I got to go get her.
All right.
I'm sorry. I got to go.
Go get him. Go. Yeah. Go.
But I'll talk to you later, my friend. Thanks for having me.
You
Ray.
got it, man.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Live. You got to love being on live. The dog got loose. All right. So you guys, I want to know from you guys, how are you adjusting? All of you out there, How are you adjusting to drafting number 32? Look, this is not a critical draft. In a year, or for the Bucs, this is not a critical draft. In a year when it's easy to screw up your draft because you don't know the players. They didn't play as much college ball. They didn't have a combine. You haven't had a chance to get to know them in the same kind of way. This is not a critical draft for the Bucs. It's kind of a freewheeling, I wonder what's going to happen. And it's the right year for it to not be a critical draft. It's the right year to maybe be able to screw up because you're not in a situation of need. But understand, if you screw up, it still impacts you in the future. And you got to know that. You have to know that. And let me ask you guys, fun ideas during the draft. Here's what I want you to do. I want you guys to, you can message me on Facebook. You can always get us, reach us here at the Bucs Report page on Facebook. And I want to hear from you guys about what are your fun ideas? What do you do to have fun when you're watching the draft? Because it goes on for hours. And do you just plop down, sit there, and do nothing, or do you do other things that are fun? I'm hoping you're tuning in and listening to us, calling and interacting. That's what we're going to be there for throughout the whole thing. We're going to be there. Every time there's a pick made, we're going to relate it back to how it impacts the Bucs and deals with the Bucs and how that whole thing plays into it. So I am looking forward to this, guys, and I think that it's going to be a different approach. It's going to feel different as a Bucs fan because we're used to picking up so high every year. And now all of a sudden we're at the end. And, you watch for 3 hours and you're all excited and then your team trades out of the first round. And are you going to be disappointed if that happens? Are you going to feel like, God, why did I sit here for 3 hours? My team didn't even pick. I mean, I'm feeling like if we could sit there for 3 hours and then trade out of the first round, I'm going to be throwing a party. I'm going to be happy, guys. I will be happy. I'll be the guy that thinks, we just won the Super Bowl. That's how I'm going to feel. So, one more time, let me open this up. Give me a call at the phone number below, 678-825-5263. 678-825-5263. Let me hear from you. Matt, I know you were out there. Mike, you're out there. Why don't you guys call? I want to hear from you guys. Matt, feel free to call back, brother. But yeah, I want to know what you guys are doing during the draft. Are you going to be there with us? Are you going to be there with us? You better be there with us. I hope you're going to be there with us because we're going to have a whole lot of fun. But yeah, turn it on TV, watch it on TV, and interact with us. Keep us going, but interact with us. Give us a shot to interact with you and tell us your thoughts when teams are picking and you're hearing the rumor mill fly and you're watching somebody fall or you're watching somebody get picked early. I want to hear from you guys on draft day. That's going to be a lot of fun. Matt, brother.
Hey, I got to give Ray Kennedy the biggest props.
What's
when
that?
Your dog runs off and you don't even break a rhythm in his voice.
I know.
He didn't change a bit. Hey, I got to go get my dog.
Yep,
I was running up and down the road.
Yeah, I saw him looking around, and I was like, something's going on. What the heck is going on? We gotta get that handled. So yeah, but yeah, what do you do for fun during the draft? What are you planning on doing for fun?
Well, usually we'll watch it.
Yep.
And I learn about the players that are available while they talk about the players that are available.
Yeah.
And that's I don't do the mock draft thing or
right.
any of that stuff because I don't watch college ball at all, really.
Right.
But I like to see who goes where, and certain ones will pique my interest in it.
Right.
Sometimes I'll start following the team they go to the next season just to see how it panned out.
Right.
Depending on the position, that kind of thing. But I haven't missed a draft probably in 10 years.
Yeah, me either.
At least a portion of it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to having the show and to watch it. I don't know how it's going to feel being a Buccaneer and having to wait till the end of the show. Well, we're in the third hour in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So That's a whole lot of time before that.
Yeah, I know. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a whole lot that's happening. That it all comes back though. It all ends up impacting the Bucs, and somebody's going to be dropping, and it's going to make it fun. And I really want you guys all calling in. I really do. I want to hear from all of you guys on that day. I want you guys to be calling in and interacting because it's the perfect day to do that. I mean, it really, really is the perfect day to. It's sort of the kickoff to the season. I feel like it is. I mean, do you agree? This is when this year feels like it's starting.
Right after the draft weekend is when people start to pique their interest a little bit and then start following a little more. And if we have OTAs, we're not having them this year. But if we have preseason practice to talk about here, in a month?
Yeah.
Then we're back on track again. And
it just feels like it. It just feels like it to me. Yeah, it feels like it to me. It feels like, okay, here we go. Here we go. Everybody get ready. Right. Here we go. Now it's starting. There's going to be one more little lull of a few weeks. But other than that one more little lull, it's time. Next up is minicamp and preseason.
Minicamp's coming. And the Bucs don't let you go into their practices anymore. So
they're going to. No, they're going to this year. They are. Yeah, they didn't let them go in because of COVID. That's the reason they didn't last year.
Well, they did a portion of the practice for open public viewing, and then they did a portion of it that was closed because Casey Phillips and Scott Smith would do their end zone there, and they purposely let them see that on film. Whereas with Dirk Cutter, then they just opened up the damn thing, and you had bleachers and music, and it was a party and all that.
Well, they have those bleachers. They have the bleachers. The bleachers are at the inside facility, not the outside facility. So I think if they do a practice like that, it's going to be inside. So I don't know.
That's when you know it's happening. And when you start to turn on the NFL.com and they have more to talk about than Tom Brady. It's either him or LeBron James on the other network. That's all you're hearing about right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I hear so much about the Bucs. It's funny to me, man. Every day on Good Morning Football, there's more Buccaneers stories. Remember, everybody a year ago was like, we don't get any media coverage. Now it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, now it's all day, every day.
Yeah, a buddy of mine who's a Falcons fan said basically the background at ESPN is Tom Brady in a Bucs uniform.
I believe that.
Yeah, it's constant.
Brady was their boy up there in New England, Connecticut.
Yeah, it is constant. It is constant. It's Tom Brady, all Tom Brady, constant Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady. That's how it goes. So
it's good to see our team on the without being a filler. We're actually being talked about like contenders.
Well, think about it this way. It's also we're hearing about Gronk catching the pass thrown from the helicopter. We're hearing about other things because the Bucs players are of interest. The Bucs players are of interest.
Yeah, the Gronk catch was on Fox News Network.
Yeah,
they led with that this morning.
Yeah, it's.
And then they had a big discussion because they didn't see the football come down. You saw him throw it out of the helicopter. There's a cut, and then he caught one. There's no tape in between showing the ball coming down, so they were having a big issue about that, saying it was doctored.
Oh my God, it's a conspiracy. Why not? It's a conspiracy. Of course, it's a conspiracy because everything's a freaking conspiracy.
That's exactly it. They were all over it.
I think Bill Gates was behind that pass.
It's part of the story because for a long time, Tampa was just a team in Florida somewhere that in a spot on the roster.
Yeah, but respect is earned, and I've said this time and time again. Respect is earned, and they've now earned it, and that's why they're getting it. And everybody who said everybody who cried about the fact that they weren't getting coverage and you never saw them, well, now you know why. You win some games and you get some coverage, and that's how it works. And now these guys are going to make Pro Bowls, and now these guys are going to become more sought after free agents. Now these guys are going to become a thing because not only do these players on the Buccaneers represent the fact, or not only is it that, okay, they're on the championship team, they are, and everybody follow this, they are now the players that will sell tickets if they go to other teams. That makes them appealing to other teams. So you got to think about the fact that we're going to lose players because when they leave Tampa, they will sell tickets elsewhere. So it becomes more and more and more of a challenge every year. We got everybody back this year. It's an amazing thing. Now, let's make it through this year and we'll deal with whatever comes next. But it's challenges lie ahead. Challenges lie ahead.
Yeah.
So.
And you had asked earlier in the show about the quarterback with the most pressure on him,
Yeah.
or why would you feel that way?
Yeah.
I really think Brady's got pressure on him, and I know he's used to it. He's
Really?
in the limelight and all of that.
What if the Bucs have a bad year? What if the Bucs have a bad year? On Brady, who cares, man? They're just going to say, yeah, man.
Well, I don't know, man. I think if we don't come out and at least come out 3-1, that people are going to be thinking, oh, no, it's not going to work.
Well, they're going to say, they're going to do that.
Brady's old. Going to come out again, and we're going to be talking about avocado ice cream and Sheriff Hall. So,
but that's okay. But that time is coming at some point. But yeah, I don't think he has pressure on him. I think if this year went south and went south fast, Brady just goes back to his supermodel wife with his hundreds of millions of dollars and is famous afterwards, selling whatever he wants to sell. Making his whatever money he wants to make. He can print his own. He's got to, I just don't see Brady being under a lot of pressure. I see people like Matt Ryan, who it's like, you better do it now, buddy, or your career is pretty much over.
I think Matt Ryan's done.
Yeah.
I think this is his one song and he's over with.
Yeah, that may be the case.
Yeah, and I hope that we do well. And I hope we don't have a conversation mid-season about how come we're only 3-5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what? 5 years ago, if we opened up the season 3-5, we're close to 500. Man, that was pretty good. After the bye week, we're coming in the second half. Maybe we can make the playoffs, and people were happy with that.
Well, this is the thing. You got expectations. Yeah, you have expectations now. So
they're pretty damn high.
Yeah, they are
pretty high.
Yeah, they are. So. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year. If people want to have fun with it, it'll be a fun year.
Oh, it's going to be good either way.
Yep.
But we'll start out with the draft tomorrow night and go from there.
Where the heck was Mike DeRoche tonight? He popped in a little bit and then disappeared.
He was in the chat room.
Yeah, he was there for a little bit and then he disappeared early. But anyway. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you, Matt. Thanks for coming on.
No trouble. You have a good night, Rick.
Yep, you too. All right, guys. Tomorrow night we are going to have a special version of the Audible, breaking down the draft, getting into the weeds, getting into the details, getting into the minutia, really getting into a kind of a deep dive into the draft. And then on Thursday, I will be in Tampa. I will be at Ferg's for the party. It's going to be a great time, guys. It really is going to be a great time. There's going to be giveaways from Foco and from Smack Apparel and other things. It's going to be a good time. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. I really do. It's going to be a blast. And hopefully as many of you can make it out there as possible. But the rest of you, I really, really do hope you will come on here and make sure that you're here for the draft and talking to us and interacting with us because this thing is going to be a lot more fun with that. Tim Witherspoon shows up finally. Where have you been, buddy? Tim Witherspoon, where you been, my friend? I'm glad you're here. Welcome back. And let's have a good time with the draft. I want you guys to show up. I want you guys to show out. I want to hear from you guys. I want the Parrot Army to show up. I'm looking forward to it. And in the meantime, guys, I want you all to have a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow night. I will also see you most likely on Saturday night. It's possible that I won't be there, but maybe on Saturday night for What's Cooking. But the draft is Thursday. Be there. Be there. Be there. Online, in person, be there. Let's talk football. Let's talk Bucs. Go Bucs.